Human accidentally discovered an alien armor. He put it on and then Noah Mercer edged along the chain-link fence surrounding the old Helion Dynamics facility. The cool night breeze from New Seattle carrying hints of rain. His breath came steady, but his mind raced. Years of failed projects had left him broke, chasing shadows for a break. He clipped the wire with steady hands, slipping inside where moonlight filtered through cracked windows. Dust hung thick in the air, and his boots crunched on debris as he navigated the dim halls, flashlights sweeping for anything worth salvaging. Deeper in the vault, stacked crates loomed like forgotten sentinels. Noah paused at one, peeling back a tarp to reveal the iris suit, sleek, almost breathing with those faint blue veins glowing softly. "What the? This thing looks alive," he muttered to himself, voice low in the empty space. Curiosity won out. He plugged in his scanner, interfacing with the port that seemed to hum in response. The suit activated with a jolt. Energy surged through Noah's nerves, flooding his thoughts with flashes, labs, equations, a protective urge that felt oddly personal. Iris latched on, armor plates shifting to fit him like a second skin. He staggered back, heart hammering. "Whoa! What just happened?" Alarms pierced the silence, red strobes flashing as doors slammed open. Helion guards poured in, rifles humming with charge. "Intruder! Freeze!" one barked, firing a stun bolt that crackled the air. Noah dodged, Iris instinctively deploying a shield, the blast glancing off in sparks. He ran, corridors blurring, the suit boosting his speed while whispers echoed in his head. "Protect. Adapt." Guards closed in, shouts echoing. "He's got prototype gear! Take him down!" Noah vaulted over rubble, Iris guiding his path. In a dead-end room, the suit zeroed on a concealed panel, a spatial gate, experimental and unstable. No choice left. Iris triggered it, the rift tearing open in a whirl of light. "Here goes nothing!" Noah leaped through, the world folding around him in nausea-inducing twists. He hit sand hard, rolling under 3 blazing suns that scorched everything. Caldera IX stretched out, endless dunes, heat rippling the horizon. Noah groaned, pushing up as Iris adjusted filters against the glare. "Where am I?" Distant roars pulled his focus. A figure fought massive burrowing beasts, their armored bodies erupting from the ground like living earthquakes, barbs glinting venomously. Sarah Velorian swung her staff, dodging a claw swipe that gouged the sand. The creatures towered, relentless. Noah charged without thinking, Iris deploying energy blades that hummed to life. "Hey, get clear!" he yelled. Blades sliced into the first beast's hide, sparks flying as it reared back. Another lunged, barb whipping close, but Iris parried, the impact jarring Noah's arms. He pressed the attack, suit predicting moves, carving through defenses until the last one collapsed in a heap of dust. Sarah lowered her staff, eyes narrowing under her hooded cloak. You just jumped in like that? Who are you?" She extended her hand, a glowing thread weaving from her palm to his, binding in a warm pulse. "The bond thread. It's our way. You're kin now, tied by debt." She gripped his arm firmly, pulling him steady with a grateful nod, her touch lingering a moment longer than needed. Noah flexed his hand, feeling the subtle pull. Yeah, sure. Name's Noah. This suit, Iris. It's kind of new to me, too." Exhaustion hit, but Sarah steadied him, leading through the dunes to jagged rocks where her clan's camp hid. Mirages danced and eerie howls from spiny plants filled the air. Tents blended seamlessly, lit by soft orbs. Inside the main shelter, Kyle crossed her arms, scars mapping her armored frame. "So, this is the hero? Looks like he fell out of a storm." Her tone carried that warrior edge, tactical eyes assessing as she circled him slowly, boots thudding on the mat. Mira adjusted her scanner, instruments beeping. "Fascinating. The suit's integrating with your biology. Helion tech, right? Blends human and something else." She leaned in closer, fingers tapping the device with quick, precise movements. Noah nodded, sinking onto a woven mat. "Yeah, stumbled into it back on Earth. Corporate junk, but it saved my skin." The bond thread hummed faintly, sharpening his awareness of the planet's beats, like a heartbeat under the sand. As shadows lengthened under the suns, Kyle tossed him a practice staff. Let's see what you've got. Gravity here's tricky. Shifts like the winds. Noah sparred lightly. Clumsy steps turning fluid with Iris's help, small force fields popping to block her strikes. Not half bad, Cal admitted with a grin, clapping his shoulder hard enough to jolt him. Sarah joined, explaining over spiced roots chewed slow. We dodge scavengers like your Helion folks, always probing for scraps. But the real threat, the Oblivion Choir. They sing worlds to dust, keeping some cosmic order. Noah shared Earth's greed. Corporations eat everything in sight. Guess trouble follows me. From orbit, a Helion drone captured the camp's glow, sensors pinging the gate's trace, data feeding back to hungry execs. Tremors shook the ground then, a dissonant hum vibrating the air. Precursors, Mira said, eyes on her device. Noah gripped Iris tighter. What now? Kale ramped up training in the shifting sands, evasive drills where Iris generated fields to turn dunes into cover. Keep moving. Don't let it pull you down. Noah adapted, a weary chuckle escaping. Yeah, piece of cake. Mira's scans revealed more. The suit's living tissue merging, hinting at deeper changes. It's evolving you, subtly. Noah felt a maternal echo in Iris's whispers, but shoved it aside. The vortex appeared on the horizon, swirling light heralding worse. Harbinger, Mira whispered. Defenses rose, pulling Noah in tighter, the pull undeniable. Noah lay on a woven cot inside the shaded tent, the bond thread pulsing like a second heartbeat, while Iris dimmed its glow to let him rest. The air carried spice and dry heat, 3 suns bleeding orange through the fabric. Kale pushed the flap aside, her shadow falling long across his face. Up, sky faller. Dawn's for training, not dreaming. She tossed him a canteen. Water sloshed cool against his cracked lips. Outside, the camp stirred. Children chasing dust devils, elders tuning wind harps that caught the planet's low thrum. Kale led him past them to a flat pan of packed sand. Caldera breathes, she said, planting her feet. Feel it before it throws you. A tremor rippled underfoot. Noah staggered, but Iris compensated with microthrusters, steadying him. Kale's grin flashed quick. See? The world's got jokes. Mira waited at the edge with a portable scanner humming like an angry insect. She waved him over, stylus tapping the screen. Hold still, your cells are rewriting themselves. Fascinating. The display showed his DNA strands twisting, energy signatures threading through like glowing vines. Noah rubbed his arm where the suit fused seamless to skin. Feel tingly. Not bad, just, weird. Sarah approached with a bowl of spiced tubers, steam curling in the morning light. She sat cross-legged, offering him the first bite. Eat. Bond thread shares more than debt. It shares strength. Noah chewed, the heat blooming on his tongue. Between mouthfuls, he told them about Earth. Orbital elevators choked with ads, Helion logos on every skyline. They'd strip this place bare for a quarterly bonus, he said, voice low. Sarah's eyes darkened. We've hidden from their kind before, but the choir... She trailed off, gaze lifting to the triple suns. A low drone cut the air. Helion scout, high orbit, invisible but logging every heat signature. Its cold lens framed the camp in grids, tagging the gate's residual flare. Data packets zipped toward corporate relays, flags rising in distant boardrooms. Back under the tent's shade, Mira projected a hollow of the planet's crust. Choir precursors ride the magnetosphere, she explained, tracing faint dissonance lines. They're tasting the chaos here. Noah leaned in, Iris feeding him overlays, harmonic spikes matching the planet's 3-sun rhythm. Like a song looking for the wrong note, he murmured. Kyle snorted, spinning her vibrolance. Then we changed the tune. She beckoned Noah to the training circle. Sand exploded under her boots as she lunged, Iris predicted, raising a shimmering field. The lance struck. Clang! Vibrations rattling Noah's teeth. He countered with an energy blade, clumsy arc turning precise mid-swing. Kyle blocked, boots sliding. Better! Again! Hours blurred. Sweat carved channels down Noah's face, but Iris recycled moisture, keeping him sharp. Between bouts, Sarah guided his stance. "Consent, not force," she said softly, adjusting his grip on a practice staff. "The thread teaches that. So does the suit if you listen." Noah felt the subtle tug, her intent flowing through the bond, steadying his breath. Night fell hard, two suns dipping while the third lingered crimson. Clan fires glowed low. Noah sat apart, staring at unfamiliar constellations. Iris whispered fragments, lab smells, a woman's voice humming lullabies. He shook it off, but the warmth lingered like an old coat. Seismic rumble rolled in from the east, deeper than before. Tents fluttered, children hushed. Mira's scanner chirped urgent. Storm front laced with choir harmonics, dissonant, rising. Sand lifted in spirals, carrying faint, eerie notes that scraped the nerves. Noah stood, Iris flaring protective fields. Cal barked orders. Secure the harps, lower the shields. Move like you mean it. He joined the line, helping brace windbreaks. The hum grew, a pressure behind the eyes. Iris countered with counter-frequencies, easing the ache in his skull. Sarah's hand brushed his. "Together," she said simply. The bond thread brightened, sharing calm across the clan. Dawn broke restless. Kyle dragged Noah to the dunes again, footprints erased by wind. "Evasive patterns, use the shift," she demonstrated, body blurring as gravity fluxed. Noah followed, Iris generating localized fields. Sand parted like water. He landed rolling, came up laughing, despite the burn in his lungs. "Guess I'm getting the hang of this," Mira called from the ridge, scanner raised. On the horizon, a vortex of light twisted taller, edges fraying into impossible colors. "Harbinger, it's locking onto the planet's core frequency." The clan fell silent, wind harps moaning in sympathy. Kale's jaw set. Then we locked back. Noah felt Iris sink deeper, veins pulsing in time with Caldera's heartbeat. The sisters exchanged glances. Kale's fierce, Mira's calculating, Sarah's steady. Defenses rose higher, woven from sand and song, and the fragile thread now binding an off-world stranger to their fate. The vortex spun, patient, waiting for the chorus to swell. Noah knelt in the pre-dawn hush, fingers tracing Iris's interface port while the camp still slept. The suit responded with a soft chime, unlocking a new layer. Environmental sync. Heat from the rising suns rolled over him like a furnace door, cracking open, but Iris wove a microclimate, cool air brushing his skin like a breeze from home. He exhaled, slow, shoulders loosening, the tension of yesterday's fight finally bleeding out. "Okay, that's new." He flexed his hand. The suit's veins pulsed in quiet answer. Sarah padded up barefoot, sand whispering under her steps. She carried two short staves, offered one handle first with a small, easy grin. "Culture lesson," she said, twirling hers lazily. "Consent first, always." Noah took the staff. The bond thread flickered warm between their palms, guiding his grip lighter than he expected. They moved in slow circles, staves tapping, clack, slide, tap, her foot nudging his stance wider. "Feel the give," she murmured, voice barely above the wind. He did. The planet's gravity flexed like a living thing, and Iris adjusted in tiny pulses, keeping him balanced. Sarah's eyes crinkled at the corners when he finally mirrored her stance without wobbling. "There, you're listening." Kale burst from the supply tent, vibro lance humming like an angry hornet. "Enough dancing. Sparring circle now." She jabbed the sand, carving a ring with the lance's tip. Noah stepped in, heart kicking up a gear. Kyle lunged, fast. Iris predicted, blade materializing to parry. Metal rang. Vibrations shot up his arms like hammer blows. He stumbled, but Kale hooked his ankle, flipping him flat. Sand puffed around his ears. She loomed, lance tip hovering an inch from his throat. Predictive's cute, instincts better. Noah rolled, came up swinging. Iris learned mid-arc, turning the strike into a feint. Kyle blocked, boots skidding, then laughed. Short, surprised, the sound cutting through the morning heat. Ha! Sibling material. She clapped his back hard enough to rattle teeth, then yanked him upright by the forearm, grip solid as iron. Mira waved from her makeshift lab, a tarp strung between two leaning boulders. DNA update. Come see. Noah jogged over, wiping sweat with the back of his wrist. The hollow showed his cells glowing, energy lattices weaving tighter, strands coiling like living wire. Endurance spiking, she said, stylus circling a spike on the graph. You'll outlast any native under triple suns, maybe outrun the wind itself. Noah flexed his fingers. No fatigue, just steady hum under the skin. Feels like I drank lightning, he admitted, rolling his shoulders. Mira's eyes flicked up, a rare half-smile tugging her mouth. She tapped the hollow again. The graph zoomed, showing radiation resistance climbing past Velorian norms. Helion never intended this for humans. You're evolving. An elder shuffled past, robes whispering over the sand, and paused. He pressed a carved stone into Noah's hand, warm, etched with faded choir glyphs that seemed to shift when he blinked. Past visits, the old man rasped, tracing a spiral with a gnarled finger. Planets gone in a single cycle, echoes across light years. The stone weighed more than its size. Noah closed his fist around it, the grooves biting gently into his palm. The elder patted his wrist twice, firm, reassuring, then moved on, humming a low note that made the air vibrate. Later, over flat bread and fermented sap that fizzed on the tongue, Noah sketched Earth's failed outposts on a scrap of hide. Craters, abandoned rigs, corporate logos rusting under alien suns. Mira leaned in, eyes sharp behind her scanner lens. Helion artifacts match choir residue in the deep crust. She tapped the map with a stylus, drawing red lines between Noah's doodles and ancient Velorian dig sites. They've been digging for the same song, same frequency. Kyle snorted, tearing off a chunk of bread. Let 'em dig. We'll bury the shovels. She elbowed Noah, crumbs flying. You in? He nodded, mouth full. The bond thread sparking agreement. Iris glitched then, a fragmented log stuttering across Noah's vision like bad reception. A woman's voice, soft, urgent. If you're hearing this, run. Protect him. Static swallowed the rest. Noah blinked hard, throat tight, but said nothing. He rubbed the heel of his hand across his eyes, pretending sand. Midday heat shimmered. Cal dragged him to a shallow basin, where wind sculpted dunes into blades. Evasion drill. Use the flux. She demonstrated, body blurring as gravity warped. Sand exploded upward in her wake. Noah followed, Iris flinging localized fields. He dove, rolled, came up behind a crest, then popped out on Kale's blind side, practice blade at her throat. She froze, then spun, ruffling his hair with a rough palm. Sneaky little brother, I like it. Sweat streaked both their faces. She wiped hers on her sleeve, offered him the canteen. Water passed between them, warm from the sun but welcome. Night watch found him on a dune's crest, 3 moons silvering the sand. He traced unfamiliar constellations, missing Earth's smoggy sky. The bond thread tugged, Sarah settling beside him without a word. She rested her head on her knees, arms wrapped loose. Minutes stretched. Noah finally spoke, voice rough around the edges. Left everything behind. Don't even know if I want it back. Sarah bumped his shoulder gently, the contact lingering. Family's where the thread pulls. You'll see. She drew a small circle in the sand between them, then smoothed it away. The silence after felt easier, shared. Dawn patrols reported orbital blips. 12 Helion scout ships fanning out in tight formation, engines glowing faint against the starfield. Mira's scanner painted red arcs across the hollow sky. They're pinging the gate signature. Clock's ticking. Kale cracked her knuckles, gaze hard. Then we make noise they can't ignore. Training intensified. Noah ran flank patterns with younger scouts, Iris cloaking him in heat mirages. He vaulted a ridge, landed rolling, energy blade carving practice targets mid-air. Kel watched from below, arms crossed, nodding slow approval. Fluid. Good. Mira's final scan that evening lit the tent gold. Choir pattern locked. Full arrival in weeks, not months. She pinched the bridge of her nose, exhaustion cracking her calm for the first time. We need more than walls, more than blades. Noah stared at the swirling prediction on the hollow, Iris already running counterharmonics in the background. Soft chimes only he could hear. The camp bustled, harps retuned to sharper keys, shields reinforced with woven alloy, children practicing evasion rolls under watchful eyes. The bond thread pulled tighter, a living net binding stranger to clan, human to alien, fear to fragile hope. The vortex on the horizon pulsed once, patient, tasting the air for the chorus yet to come. Noah traced the new harmonic shield in the air, fingers leaving trails of shimmering blue that caught the midday glare. Iris hummed approval, the barrier flexing like soap film under Caldera's magnetic storm. Ripples racing outward when he pushed against it. He punched it, thud, sand kicking up in a lazy cloud. Storms are just free energy now, he said, grinning despite the grit in his teeth. Kyle whistled low from the ridge above, arms crossed. Show off. Try keeping it up while I throw rocks. She hefted a fist-sized stone the color of rust. Noah flicked the shield. Ping, the rock ricocheted into the dunes with a distant puff. He pumped a fist. Bullseye on the rebound. Sarah jogged up the slope, bond thread glowing faint between them like a shared vein. She pressed 2 fingers to his wrist, eyes narrowing in quiet check. Your pulse is sinking with the planet's core. Scared? Noah swallowed, the admission sticking a bit. Terrified, but the thread, it's like you're right here. He tapped his chest, right over where the suit fused. Sarah's mouth curved soft, almost shy. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. Connection keeps you alive. She squeezed once, then let go, the warmth lingering. Cale vaulted down the ridge, boots thudding hard enough to send vibrations up Noah's legs. Enough flirting. Archives, move it! She jerked her chin toward a half-buried archway carved into red rock. Wind-sculpted edges, sharp as knives. Inside, the air cooled suddenly, dust motes dancing in shafts of triple sunlight that sliced through cracks. Kyle brushed glyphs on a stone tablet, fingers lingering on the grooves. Nyx, our first mother, 3 sons split her to survive the flux. She traced the fracture lines, voice dropping. Warrior, scout, thinker, sound familiar. Noah leaned closer. The stone felt warm, almost alive. Yeah, like looking in a mirror that's cracked in 3 places. Mira slipped in behind them, scanner beeping a steady rhythm. Confirmed, temporal rifts millennia ago, energy spikes matching the sun's alignment. She projected a hollow above the tablet, 3 silhouettes merging into one, edges blurring like heat haze. Merge them, amplify power. Risk, unknown, could scramble neural paths. Cale's jaw tightened, a muscle jumping. I'm not losing myself to some ancient echo. Mira met her glare, unflinching. You won't. We'll be more whole, not less. Sarah placed a hand on Cale's arm, gentle pressure. We've carried pieces long enough. Time to fit them. Noah stepped between them, palms up. Iris can anchor the ritual. Earth fusion tech, stable core, adaptive shell. I ran sims last night. He tapped the suit. A small hollow flickered from his gauntlet, showing containment fields. I'll be the hinge. Keep the flow balanced. Kale exhaled through her nose, long and slow. Fine, but if I come out liking poetry and quiet mornings, I'm blaming you. She punched his shoulder, light, playful. Noah rubbed it, chuckling. Deal. I'll take the blame if you start quoting sunsets. Throw another from orbit, Helion command deck. Sterile lights buzzing, holoscreens flickering with planetary scans. A captain leaned over tactical, finger stabbing a red blip. Gate residue confirmed. Stable enough for 2-way. Minerals worth trillions in the upper crust alone. Exec in a crisp suit drummed fingers on the console. Eyes cold. Send dropships, secure the anomaly, and the locals. No witnesses. The captain nodded, already keying orders. Engines flared in the void. Back in camp, the sisters gathered under the largest tent. canvas flapping in the hot breeze. Kyle paced a tight circle, boots scuffing the mat. Merge means trusting each other with everything. Memories, fears, the ugly stuff. Sarah folded her arms, leaning against a support pole. We already do. The thread proves it every time Noah dodges a lance or Mira predicts a storm. Mira adjusted her scanner, numbers scrolling. Calculations say 78% success with Iris's buffer, 82 if we time it to the sun's nadir. Noah raised a brow. Only 78? Mira shrugged, a tiny smirk. Better than choir math. They run on zero mercy. Cal stopped pacing, planted her lance. Then we beat the odds, again. Choir precursors crept closer, whispers in the wind, notes that made teeth ache and skin crawl. Noah's ears rang. Iris countered with a low thrum, easing the pressure. They're testing resolve, he muttered, rolling his neck. Kale spun her lance, grip tightening. Let 'em test this. She slammed the butt into the sand. Crack, sending a shock wave that scattered loose grains. A pack of mutated sand wolves, eyes glowing choir blue, hides rippling with unnatural light, burst from a dune like a nightmare given teeth. Noah threw up the harmonic shield. Wolves slammed into it, snarling, claws scraping sparks. The barrier held barely. Kale vaulted over the top, lance carving arcs of violet energy. Left flank. Noah, now! He rolled under a leaping wolf, energy blade igniting with a hiss. The blade sliced clean. The beast yelped, tumbling. Sarah's staff cracked another skull. Thwack, while Mira fired a pulse from her scanner. A sharp beam stunning two more into twitching heaps. Noah finished the last with a shield bash, the impact jarring up his arms. The fight ended in panting silence. Wolves twitching in the sand, blue glow fading. Kale wiped ichor from her cheek with the back of her hand, smearing it across scarred skin. Teamwork. Not bad, Skyboy. She offered a fist. Noah bumped it, knuckles stinging. Sarah checked him over, fingers light on a shallow scratch. Bond thread's already knitting that. See? The cut sealed before his eyes, faint glow fading. Mira scanned the corpses. Choir corruption, temporary. They'll burn it out by dawn. But more will come. Later, around the fire, as the third sun dipped crimson, Noah cleaned his blade with a scrap of cloth. If we merge, what happens to you three? Like daily stuff? Sarah poked the embers with a stick, sparks rising. We become Nyx again, stronger. Whole, but echoes stay. Kyle's fire, Mira's numbers, my intuition. Kyle stared into the flames, reflection dancing in her eyes. Scared I'll miss arguing with myself. Or worse, like the quiet. Mira snorted, adjusting a dial on her scanner. You'll still argue, just internally. Efficiency. Noah laughed. Short, surprised, the sound easing the knot in his chest. Guess we'll need a bigger tent. The bond thread warmed, knitting tighter, a living promise against the growing dark. Mira's fingers flew over the scanner in the dim lab tent. Lights flickering across Noah's face like nervous fireflies, while Iris cracked open its deepest core. A deep chime echoed, unlocked, final. The hollow bloomed slow, neural maps twisting, code strings unraveling, then a woman's face pixelating into focus. Tired eyes, lab coat rumpled from too many nights. Noah's breath caught sharp. He leaned in so close his nose almost touched the projection, hand pressing the table edge until knuckles whitened. That's Mom. The imprint smiled, soft, sad. Project Iris, safeguard protocol. If my son activates, protect him across any divide. Flashbacks rolled unbidden, her sealing the suit in a hidden crate, Helion guards banging on the lab door, her whispering coordinates into the neural net with trembling lips. Noah's throat worked hard. He turned away fast, rubbing the back of his neck like he could scrub the memory off. Iris pulsed warm against his skin, steady, like a hug he couldn't return. He swallowed twice. She knew I'd be dumb enough to plug in. Sarah rested a hand on his shoulder, thumb circling, slow, grounding. She built a door for you, Noah. A big one. Her voice cracked just her hair on his name. Noah nodded stiff, eyes fixed on the sand floor, blinking fast. Yeah, guess doors run in the family. Outside, the sisters formed a perfect triangle under the aligned suns, hands linking tight, palms slick with sweat. Energy auras flickered to life. Kale's red and angry, Sarah's gold and warm, Mira's blue and cool. They edged closer, testing merge boundaries inch by inch. Cal's grip tightened on Mira's fingers until veins stood out. Sweat beaded her brow, dripping off her chin. Feels like standing too close to a fire. Gonna burn. Mira squeezed back, knuckles popping. Breathe through it, sis. In. Out. Sarah closed the loop, bond thread weaving brighter than noon. Their auras brushed, sparks flying like static, then pulled apart with a gasp, breathing ragged, chests heaving. Kyle wiped her face with her sleeve, smearing dust. Again tomorrow. Can't rush this. Sarah nodded, still holding Mira's hand like a lifeline. Kyle led the scout to crumbling ruins half buried in a narrow canyon, wind howling through carved arches that looked ready to topple. Artifacts hummed faint choir tones, eerie, beautiful. She knelt hard, brushing sand from a relief with calloused fingers. Figures dueling with light waves, not weapons, faces calm. Frequency duels, she muttered, tracing the lines slow. They negotiated, didn't destroy. Smart bastards. Noah crouched beside her, Iris scanning every glyph. Resonance over force. Mom's notes mention harmonic handshakes, like a cosmic high five. Kyle bumped his shoulder, rough but fond. Your idea's growing on me, hinge boy. Keep talking. A Helion probe crashed nearby with a thunderous boom, smoking hull skidding, automated turrets whirring to life. Clan patrols opened fire. Pulses ricocheted off shields in wild sparks. Noah threw a harmonic dome wide. Boom! Deflecting return blasts that scorched the sand black. Kale vaulted the wreckage like a predator, lance spearing a turret clean through. Clear the core, now! Mira hacked the probe mid-fight, fingers dancing on a jury-rigged pad, hair whipping in the wind. Downloading logs, Helion's mapping the choir path straight to us. The probe sparked, went dark with a final whine. Noah panted heavy, shield flickering down as smoke curled. Sarah checked him over quick, brushing dust from his cheek with her thumb. No leaks. Good, real good. Her hand lingered a second too long. Back at camp, Noah's evolution surged overnight. Iris sinking deeper, veins glowing under skin like living circuits. He lifted a boulder one-handed, muscles barely straining, set it down gentle as a feather. Whoa! When did I get super strength? Mira scanned, eyes wide behind the lens. Harmonic intuition. Choir songs readable like sheet music now. She handed him a practice emitter, small and humming. Noah closed his eyes, hummed a low note from the gut. Iris amplified, controlled burst mimicking a choir fragment. Sand glassed in a perfect circle, edges glowing. Kale whistled sharp. Kid's a walking orchestra. Play us a tune. She spun her lance, grinning fierce. Evening fire crackled low, shadows dancing on faces. Sarah passed Noah a cup of fermented sap, fingers lingering on his as she did. Merger's close. Feel heavy, you know? She stared into the flames, shoulders curling inward, like she could fold the worry away. Noah set the cup down, covered her hand with his, warm, steady. We carry it together. Promise. Mira joined, sitting close enough, their knees touched. Calculations say vanguard in days. Planetary waves could flatten ecosystems in hours flat. Kale poked the fire hard with a stick, sparks exploding upward like angry stars. Then we sing louder. Louder than their erase button. She tossed the stick in, flames roaring higher. Iris integrated Velorian lore overnight, projecting the frequency duel concept into Noah's palm. A glowing sphere of intertwined notes spinning slow. Consent-driven, he explained, turning it for them to see. Voice dropping, reverent. Shared resonance. We negotiate, don't annihilate. Like the bond thread, but cosmic scale. Sarah's eyes lit gold in the firelight. It's beautiful, terrifying, but beautiful. Tension snapped like a bowstring when the vanguard shimmered into being, a towering entity of liquid light, edges fraying reality itself. Clan alarms wailed shrill. Noah stepped forward bold, iris flaring shields wide. The entity pulsed a query, dissonant, probing, shaking the ground. He answered with a tentative harmonic, suit amplifying from his chest. The vanguard wavered, intrigued, light rippling. Cal readied her lance but held, fist clenched white, knuckles popping. Mira's scanner screamed data overload. It's listening! Sarah gripped Noah's arm hard, nails digging in through the suit. The entity retreated a fraction, leaving ozone in stunned silence. Noah sagged, adrenaline crashing like a wave. First contact, we didn't die. Kyle ruffled his hair rough, pulling him into a quick, fierce side hug. Proud of you, Hinge boy. Real proud. The fire popped, sparks rising into the night, carrying their fragile hope upward. The Vanguard's probe deepened overnight, its light tendrils snaking through Caldera's crust like hungry roots digging for the planet's very soul. Outposts on the eastern ridges flickered under the strain, harps shattering in dissonant bursts that echoed like breaking glass, shields warping and cracking with pops of energy. Noah felt it hit first, a crushing pressure building behind his eyes, iris straining to filter the relentless frequency that clawed at his thoughts. He staggered from the tent at dawn, hand clamped to his temple, knees nearly buckling. It's digging in, like it's tasting every heartbeat on this rock. Clan runners sprinted in from the dunes, faces ashen and streaked with sand, reports tumbling out in frantic bursts. Families huddled in caves as the song unraveled memories. Children crying out against the invisible pull. Noah's roll sharpened like a blade. Outsider, Hinge. The one piece not native, but utterly necessary now. He gripped Sarah's arm as she passed, fingers digging in urgent. We merge now, before it cracks the world open like an egg. Sarah nodded fast, eyes wide with the same dread mirroring his. The sun-aligned cavern waded deep in the cliffs, walls etched with ancient resonance glyphs that hummed underfoot like a living drum. Kale, Sarah, and Mira entered single file, the air thickening with each step, charged, expectant, almost too heavy to breathe. They formed the triangle at the heart, where three shafts of light converged in a blinding nexus that burned the eyes. Hands linked tight, auras ignited. Kale's red fury flaring hot. Sarah's gold weaving warm threads. Mira's blue calculus snapping precise. They edged closer, testing merge boundaries inch by painful inch. Kyle's knees buckled first, a growl escaping her gritted teeth as sweat poured down her face. Hold! Damn it! Hold! Don't let go! Mira's free hand clutched her scanner like a lifeline, reading spiking wild across the screen. Breathe! Sink the breaths! We're almost... Sarah whispered the invocation low, voice steady but eyes wide with the raw strain, tears tracking her cheeks. The bond thread flared brighter than the sun's, pulling them inward, their forms blurring at the edges, skin rippling like water hit by a storm of stones. Proto-Nyx emerged, taller, edges sharp with unified glow, breaths sinking in ragged, shared harmony that echoed off the walls. Iris locked on from Noah's end of the link, stabilizing field pulsing out in golden waves that steadied the air. The entity straightened slow, voice a chorus blending all three. Kale's grit rough, Sarah's warmth soft, Mira's edge cutting. We are whole again. Noah watched, chest tight, pride and fear twisting inside. Noah interfaced direct, palm slamming against the Proto-Nyx's chest, links surging like live current ripping through his nerves. Human doubts flooded in raw, Earth's failures flashing, corporate chains binding, the deep ache of lost chances and a mother's voice fading. He channeled it all, modulating the dual parameters with trembling focus, consent layered thick over conflict, a desperate plea woven into every frequency. Not erasure, he gasped, vision tunneling black at the edges. Balance. We choose. Together. Feel that? Nyx's hand covered his, grip iron but trembling, absorbing, adapting. the merge feeding on his input like fuel. Your humanity, it's the key. Keep pushing. The cavern shook violent. Vanguard tendrils recoiled a fraction, the probe stuttering like a skipped beat. Outside, tremors rolled through the dunes, sand cascading in waves. From the disrupted outposts, clan voices layered in raw terror. A mother's arms clamped tight around her child as the song clawed at fragile memories, unraveling childhood laughs into hollow static that left her sobbing. It's pulling everything apart, she whispered to the wind, fists clenched in the dirt, knuckles bleeding from the grip. Another rocked back and forth, eyes squeezed shut against the wave. Make it stop. Please, ancestors, make it stop. An elder's staff dropped forgotten, knees folding under relentless waves of what-if regrets, the dread coiling like smoke in his lungs, choking words. The collective peril amplified fast, a groundswell feeding back to the cavern. Stakes etched in every shared gasp, every unspoken fear of becoming nothing but echoes in the void. Noah felt their pull through the bond thread, a tide of desperation bolstering the merge. Dropship engines roared overhead, sudden, a squadron slicing the sky like knives, hulls glinting cold under the triple suns. Ground teams deployed in tight drops, boots thudding sand in unison, rifles charging with corporate precision and hums of power. Target the light source. Suppress and secure. A squad leader barked over comms, voice tinny through helmets. Blasts scorched the canyon walls in fiery streaks. Nick's whirled, unified gaze locking on the new threat with burning intensity. Noah pulled back from the interface with a hiss, suit sparking. Helion, now! Of all the rotten timing? They're shooting at shadows, our shadows. A trooper's bolt grazed the cavern mouth, rock exploding in shards. The clash escalated in pure chaos. Nyx moved like liquid fury, wielding Kale's tactics in sweeping arcs. Lance extensions of light-carving dropship struts with precise fury, metal screeching as one vessel tilted and crashed. Sarah's bonds lashed out ethereal, threads snaring troopers mid-fall, yanking them into disarray with yanks that snapped bones. Mira's precision-guided bursts, pinpointing weak joints in armor with surgical calm, pulses drilling through shields. Iris amplified through Noah, weaponry blooming in symphony, energy blades singing with sound waves, light lances harmonizing against the Vanguard's probe in bursts of color. A trooper fired point blank. Nyx deflected, the bolt twisting into harmless sparks that lit the air. But return fire grazed, scorch mark blooming on the entity's shoulder. Nyx staggering with a shared grunt of pain that echoed triple. Noah dove forward, suit shielding the flank in a dome of force. On me, flank left. Don't let them pin us. Nyx, cover the high ground. Mid-duel, as Vanguard tendrils lashed back, cracking stone walls, unraveling a nearby spire into dust. Noah broadcast the proposal, voice raw and breaking over the link. Ethical entropy. Shift your cycles. Restore, don't reset. We consent to the change. Feel it through us. Through all of us. Don't erase. Heal. Nyx amplified the call. Resonant empathy flooding the frequencies. Visions of fractured worlds mended slow. Chaos bent to creation in shared flashes. The Vanguard's form flickered. Edges softening. Probe withdrawing like a held breath, uncertain. Shared glimpses bridge the cosmic divide. Choir echoes of endless voids filled with longing. Human flickers of stubborn hope clashing and blending. It hovered, tentative, the air humming with fragile possibility. It's listening, Nyx murmured, voice a blend of wonder and strain. Casualties mounted fast and brutal. Helion volleys thinning clan lines, a runner crumpling with a sharp cry as a bolt found its mark, another dragging the fallen to cover with desperate pulls. Iris burst adaptive shields in frantic pulses, domes snapping up to catch a stray fire, buying precious seconds. Noah's arms burned from the overload, suit veins overheating red hot. Can't hold forever, he ground out through clenched teeth, sweat stinging his eyes like acid. Nyx pulled him upright, hand firm on his back, supportive, unyielding. You already have. Keep the hinge turning. For all of us. A trooper breached close, rifle raised high, but Nix's thread yanked him aside, into the sand with a thud. The duel twisted broader. Not just cosmic song against song, but ground war tangled in the notes, every loss a spike in the collective will that fed the resonance. The crescendo built unrelenting, the vanguard swelling massive, light coiling into a maelstrom that sucked the air thin. Then the full Oblivion Choir materialized. Colossal, a harmonic front spanning horizons like a living storm. Voices layering in obliterating chorus that drowned the sun's glare. Ground quaked violent. Rocks tumbled. Nyx raised arms wide, defiant. No at the core. Link thrumming like a heart on the brink of bursting. The choir's gaze, endless, unblinking, fixed on them, weight crushing. Resolution demanded, now or never. The air cracked with the first true note, pulling everything toward the inevitable break, the hinge teetering on the edge. Nyx surged forward from the cavern mouth. Noah fused at her side through Iris's pulsing link, and every nerve firing shared, every move a tandem strike. She raised her arms high, harmonic waves erupting from her core in cascading spheres that slammed into the choir's chorus. The air warped, barriers snapping up like invisible walls to deflect the incoming light lances that streaked down like falling stars. Noah gripped her shoulder tighter, suit humming hot against his skin. Now, project it wider. We've got the planet behind us. Feel that pull from the ley lines. Nyx nodded once, her form, blended edges of the three sisters, rippling as she amplified the call. Planetary lines lit beneath their feet, drawing in hums from distant clans, weaving them into the defense. A lance pierced close. Noah twisted, sound barrier cracking but holding. Close one. Keep the rhythm. Helion ships dotted the sky, 20 vessels unleashing plasma in coordinated hell, volleys raining violet fire that gouged craters in the sand. One blast clipped a nearby ridge. Rock shards flew, forcing Nyx to split her focus. She flung a counterwave upward, but the ground shook under the barrage. Noah ducked low, Iris deploying a quick shield dome. They're splitting us. Can't hold both fronts. Nyx, redirect some harmony to the orbitals. Nyx's voice echoed triple, Kyle's edge cutting through. On it. Watch your flank. She spun a thread of light, lashing at a descending dropship. It veered, crashing in flames. Troopers spilled out, rifles charging. Noah charged forward, blade extending from his arm. Ground teams incoming, cover me! The duel blurred into frenzy. Light lances from the choir parried by Nyx's barriers and fluid dodges. Each clash sending shockwaves that kicked up sandstorms. Noah weaved between, slicing at troopers who fired wild. One bolt grazed his side, pain flared, but Iris numbed it fast. Keep pushing! The ley lines are feeding us. He glanced back. Nyx staggered a step, her auras flickering dim. Inside the merge, doubt hit like a crack. Kyle's fire sputtering, Sarah's threads loosening, Mira's calculations stalling against the chaos. Nyx's form wavered. She dropped to one knee, hand clutching her chest. What if this merge breaks us? We're fading. Just echoes. I can feel it pulling apart. Noah skidded to her side, palm slamming the link point. No, you're solid. Remember Earth, the grit? Mom's suit didn't quit, and neither do we. Ground it. Use my mess to hold. The doubt shifted. Nyx's eyes cleared, auras reigniting bright. She rose, grip on his arm firm. Got it. Let's turn this. Choir entities loomed vast, their songs shifting, notes softening from cold wipeout to curious probes that brushed the harmony like testing waters. Nyx leaned into it, voice rising. You're guardians, right? Balance doesn't mean a race. Join the plea. Resonate with us. Feel the shift. The entities paused, forms rippling, ancient curiosity stirring as the song modulated, edges blurring toward reconfiguration. A fragment detached, hovering close, its perspective washed over them, alien vastness viewing their tiny stand as a fresh twist on entropy, worthy of a pause in the eternal cycle. This form, novel, consider? The fragment's hum echoed, rippling through the front like a question mark. Iris hit overload then, veins in Noah's suit glowing red-hot, amplifying the ethical entropy proposal in a massive broadcast. Data leaks flooded out, Helion's hidden files spilling, stolen gates, crushed worlds, corporate logs of greed. Screens in the fleet lit with scandals, commands fractured. Leaks! Shut it down! A captain barked over comms, but ships veered chaotic. Ground troops hesitated, rifles lowering. This real? We're the bad guys? One muttered, backing up. Nix seized the moment. Kyle's echoes directing strikes. Harmonic pulses blending with threads that yanked troopers off balance. Lances piercing mechs in tandem clashes. A squad rushed. Nix met them with a wave, soldiers tumbling. Noah parried a close shot, countered with a blade thrust. They're breaking! Push harder! For the clans, for everything. The choir fragment pulsed deeper curiosity, its alien view expanding, perceiving the duel as a variant ripe for evolution. Small lives bending chaos into something sustainable. Viable? Integrate? It thrummed, the front tilting further. Noah felt the scales wobble. He stepped forward, hybrid essence bared through the link. Here, take my mix. Human chaos, your order. Bridget. I'm the hinge. Cross now. The choir latched. Essence tore through him. Pain like stars exploding inside. Visions of voids and rebirths flooding. He screamed hoarse, knees buckling. Nix caught his waist, holding tight. Brother, hold on. We've got you. The accord forged in fire, destruction bent to healing, cycles shifting restorative in a skylit wave. The choir withdrew transformed, forms fading to starlight, song humming gentle men. Caldera held, scars sealing under the new balance, planet forever changed by consent's turn. Noah slumped in Nix's arms, breath ragged. We did it. Hear that quiet? Nix eased him down, auras dimming soft. Yeah, sounds like tomorrow. Plasma trails faded as Helion ships scattered, commands in disarray from the leaks. Ground teams dropped weapons, some kneeling in the sand, defeat sinking in. Nix scanned the horizon, her form stable but weary. They're pulling back, finally. Noah pushed up on elbows, wincing. Good, but the choir? That fragment, it saw us. The alien curiosity lingered in the air, a subtle hum endorsing their variant. Nix nodded, helping him stand. Worthy, it said. Guess we flipped the script. Clashes echoed faint now. Kale's tactics and Nix guiding last counterstrikes. Threads disarming stragglers without fanfare. A trooper approached hesitant, helmet off. We didn't know the half of it. Nix's voice softened, Sarah's warmth threading through. Go home. Fix your mess. He nodded, retreating with his squad. The pivot sealed. Noah's essence bridged the gap, tipping everything. Healing waves rolled out, craters filling, skies clearing. Caldera breathed deep, intact but marked by the hinge. Nix knelt beside him, hand on his shoulder. You okay? That surge felt like it took everything. Noah grinned weak, wiping blood from his lip. Worth it. Universe just got a little less destructive. She laughed soft, the merge holding steady. Nix knelt in the settling dust of the battlefield. The three suns dipping low behind dunes that now shimmered with fresh, restorative harmonics. Green flickers pushing through glass sand as ecosystems knit back together under the choir's reprogrammed cycles. She placed a palm flat on the ground, feeling the pulse return. Ethical entropy. It's working. Look, the planet's mending itself. Her voice murmured soft, still a chorus but gentler now. Kale's edge tempered like cooled steel. Sarah's warmth leading the tone. Mira's precision guiding the words. Noah sat nearby on a chunk of fallen mech, iris dimming to a gentle, steady pulse along his arms. His hybrid veins cooling from molten to warm glow. He flexed his hand slow, watching the light fade to subtle veins. Planet's breathing again. Feels right, you know? Like it was holding its breath the whole time. and Nix nodded, auras separating gradual. Three forms emerging distinct but linked by lingering, ethereal threads that hummed faint. Kale stretched first, rolling her shoulders with a satisfying crack of her neck. Miss my own body. Solo arguments hit different. But the power? Yeah, I'll keep a piece of that merge buzz. Sarah smiled wide, helping Mira up with a gentle pull. Unity without loss. That's the hinge Noah talked about. Swings both ways. Mira adjusted her scanner, reading stabilizing. Residual links at 42%, efficient and comforting. Helion's remnants lay scattered across the sands, dropped weapons half buried, abandoned gear smoking faint, execs' faces plastered on flickering hollows as scandals looped endless on every channel, assets repurposed fast under clan oversight, dropships hauling water purifiers to outposts, former troops aiding rebuilds with awkward but earnest hands. A young trooper approached hesitant, helmet tucked under his arm, face streaked with dust and regret. We were wrong about all of it. Let us help fix what we broke. Kel eyed him sharp, lance still in hand, but her stance eased a fraction. Earn it, kid. Start with the eastern ridges. Carry what you dropped. He saluted crisp, no hesitation, joining the line of ex-soldiers lugging supplies. Sarah watched him go, bond thread tugging subtle. Redemption's a slow burn, but it's burning. Noah, Iris, and Nyx, partially disengaged but enhanced with shared glows, gathered at the stabilized gate, a swirling arch of steady light humming inviting like an open door. Sarah packed spiced roots and a small scanner into a satchel. Kel shouldered her vibro lance with a final check. Mira calibrated the jump coordinates on her device. Earth next, Noah said, voice steady despite the homesick pull in his chest. Seeds of this cooperation. Gotta plant them before the ground hardens. Nyx bumped his shoulder light, her form settling between the sisters. Your world's ready for the bridge? Or do we drag 'em kicking? Noah chuckled weary. They'll come around. Humans love a good underdog story. The gate flared bright. They stepped through in a rush of light, emerging in a neutral Earth zone. Old Helion facility ruins reclaimed as open land under a single sun, air crisp with rain-scented wind. The Hinge Institute rose quick from the ground. Modular buildings blending Velorian organic curves with human stark steel. Solar panels humming alongside harmonic resonators. Programs launched smooth, workshops on resonance tech. Cultural swaps where Velorians taught consent rituals and humans shared fusion basics. Noah oversaw a session in the main hall, Iris projecting holographic duels for a mixed group. Not war, negotiation through resonance. Consent's the key. A former Helion engineer nodded eager, scribbling notes. This changes everything. No more take. What about share? Kyle demoed a lance form beside him, grumbling good-natured. Don't swing wild. Precision, not brute. Lingering bond threads connected distant worlds. Noah feeling a tug during a quiet moment on the Institute's roof, staring at Earth's stars. He reflected understated on his path from failure to fulcrum, tracing Iris's vein with a finger. From scrap engineer to this, guess hinges swing both ways, open or close. Kale's echo laughed faint in his mind, dry and affectionate. Don't get sappy, Skyboy. Save it for the recruits. Sarah's warmth followed, Mira's logic tying it neat. Former foes integrated smoother than expected. Helion remnants contributing repairs to gate stabilizers. Engineers trading corporate secrets for Velorian lore. Choir echoes monitored balance from afar. Subtle hums in the void, gentle nudges keeping entropy ethical. The Institute grew rapid, bridging realities with labs on harmonic sciences, exchange programs drawing diverse civilizations into collaborative orbits. Tentative alliances with scout ships from neighboring systems. Subtle hints of future threats whispered in scans. Distant dissonances on the edge of known space. But hope prevailed through chosen connections over chaos, doors opening wide. A final multi-perspective from Institute recruits captured the awe. A Velorian scout wide-eyed at Earth's vast oceans, waves crashing endless. A human cadet gripping a fresh bond thread in wonder, feeling the pull across stars. An ex-trooper teaching resonance basics to wide-eyed kids. Voices united in purpose, overlapping soft. This hinge, it opens doors we never imagined. Worlds linking, not conquering. The story closed on quiet optimism. Former enemies sharing meals under one sun. Worlds linking not to conquer, but to create, leaving the universe's next pivot to those who dared turn it with open hands.